Welcome to my presentation on the topic of, are you struggling with cost overruns in your high value supply and installation contracts, that is SITC contracts. This is my fifth presentation for the team of purchase and contract function, and it includes 31 aspects that must be negotiated for scope, rate and payment terms. Overall, there are 90 aspects, but this one includes 31 aspects. This is my overall 79th presentation, considering all the YouTube presentations that I have made so far. So let's start. I plan to include in this presentation 5 aspects. What are the few examples of high value SITC contracts, supply installation testing commissioning contracts? What must be included in the scope of work rated clauses related to SITC contracts? What all aspects must be negotiated in the clauses related to rates, prices in the SITC contracts? What all to negotiate in clauses related to the payment terms related to SITC contracts, and way forward, strengthening your learning journey. Now, first of all, let's understand what are the few examples of high value SITC contracts in the context of manufacturing and engineering industries. These are like setting up of the manufacturing plants for the vehicles, which includes setup like including setting up of R&D center, machine shops, paint shops, heat treatment units, and so on and so forth, which need to be negotiated. Number two, setting up the manufacturing plants, say for the intermediates like motors, pumps, white goods, precision component manufacturing for industries. Three, third example, heat recovery system, including setup of the heat exchangers for the hot waste gas, thermal oil circuits, turbines, generators, evaporators, etc. And fourth, energy sector, like setting up of the power plants of any type like thermal, hydropower, etc. etc. I have hands-on experience in at least two of these. Now, what must be included in the negotiation in the scope of works related to the SITC contracts? The first one is detailed bill of material. Now, there are three aspects which are very important. The one being the comprehensive scope of work definition, which includes detailed technical specifications, design, drawings, and quality inspection standards, and these must be comprehensive to include the bill of materials covering their quantities, material grades, and specification, work in process, and workmanship in terms of standards in execution quality, intermediate approvals, and compliance with industry benchmarks and end products, which is clear deliverables, performance expectation, and acceptance criteria. So, what I am referring to is the complete bill of material with respect to these kind of projects which need to be negotiated. Clearly defined roles. Second is clearly defined roles and responsibilities. To avoid ambiguity and disputes, the contract should explicitly outline the executive execution responsibilities, clearly state who is responsible for various aspects of execution, including procurement, installation, testing, and commissioning. Role differences, that is, the contractor versus the client, who will do what, and ensure fair risk allocation to avoid unnecessary financial burdens. And third, provisioning of the variable cost elements like responsibility for cost variables like who will provide power, fuel, water, and direct manpower, etc., to avoid disputes of the hidden expenses. Third aspects under this umbrella of scope is it must be very clearly defined what is not included in the scope of the to prevent future claims and disputes with the contractor. And exclusions should be expressly mentioned, such as work beyond the contractor's agreed scope, like additional bill of materials or engineering works, responsibilities outside the contractor's control, like client provided materials, third party inspections, and any unforeseen regulatory approvals. Usually, the normal regulatory approvals are put in the scope of the contractor. Now, what all must be negotiated related to the rate prices in the SITC contracts? In this presentation, I have identified 22 aspects which must be negotiated in the context of SITC contracts. These are starting with one, material and BOQ rates, clear pricing for all items in the bill of material quantities, including freight, marine insurance, and packing. 2. Installation and testing and commissioning cost breakdown covering equipment, tooling, consumables, QC, quality control, statutory requirement, and labor, etc. Extra and substitute items, very important parameter. Define the rate formula for cost computation. Project insurance, contractor or risk insurance, like policy premium, who will take this policy and who will pay the premium, etc. And the sum insured and the risk coverage. Power cost, electricity expenses for execution, installation, testing, and commissioning. Similarly, for the water costs, fuel cost for execution, installation, testing, and commissioning. Scaffolding costs, applicable charges for any type of construction work which is involved in this kind of manufacturing setup. Also, labor accommodation cost for temporary site hutments, including electricity, drinking water, and food. BOQ variation clauses, cost exceeding the prescribed percentage variation. Site facilities, charges for contractors, stores, and office at the project site. Who will bear this? Liquidated damages, compensation payable by either party in case of contract breach. Arbitration and dispute resolution, fees and associated charges. And termination clause, cost, fees for non-performance, insolvency, regulatory changes, or business needs. Now, these other aspect is that taxes. What all kinds of taxes are applicable in the case of such contracts? Now, escalation formula, rate adjustments for variable costs like materials, changes to the materials, power, fuel, water, labor, indexes, post contract rate adjustments, taxation, total contract value, what is the total value, client supplied material, what is the free of cost materials to be supplied, and percentage allowances allowed to the contractor for rejections and handling, and recovery rates beyond limits, retention and bank guarantees for payments, percentage retention, recovery terms, validity period, final bill approval, how it will be done, and contractual payment conditions, stipulated timelines, milestone based payments, and holdback condition. These 22 clauses which I have just stated, these are actually based on my negotiation of hundreds of such contracts, a practical experience. Now, next is payment terms. What all to negotiate related to the payment terms? Milestone based payments, structural payments linked to the project progress, such as material dispatch, delivery, installation, testing, and commissioning, ensuring cash flow balance for both buyer and supplier. This is very important. It should not be just linked to the time plan, time based, or monthly payments like that. Retention and bank guarantee, defined retention percentage, recovery process, and option to replace retention with a bank guarantee, specifying validity, release conditions, and any reduction for defects or non-performance. This is particularly important in case the contractor is overseas based. Final payment and bill clearances, payment tied to work completion, certification, quality approval, statutory clearances, and formal handover, ensuring financial accountability and before contract closure. Fourth, advance payment and adjustments, very important parameters. Usually, the contractors they ask advance payments as an obligation advance without any guarantees. So this is very important point to allow this, but against bank guarantees, etc., and phase recoveries and conditions for refund. TDS, tax deduction, and statutory compliances, provision for TDS, GST adjustments as applicable depending on the type of the contract, and late payment and interest charges, clearly defined, clearly stated penalties for delayed payments by the either party, including interest charges or financial consequences for non-adherence to the agreed timelines. Now, way forward. While I have shared these three scope related and 22 rates related clauses and six payment related clauses, here is a way forward for strengthening your learning journey. Effective negotiation of the contracts covering scope, pricing, and payment terms is a critical skill that enhances profitability, mitigates risk, and fosters long-term business relationships. Continuing, continue to learn and grow with the practical insights from me, a retired professional with a 40 plus years of industry experience, and author of two books on ethics, and with a best-selling book on the Amazon India and an Udemy instructor. Now, giving below a summary of the accomplishments so far vis-a-vis my this Udemy course and the books. There are, as of this book was launched, this Udemy course was launched on 25th December 2024. That is about 2 months ago, and there are 3045 professionals who are enrolled. This is I'm reading from column number 2 with a rating of 4.8. And I also post my retirement, I also launched two books. First book on ethics was released on 14 June 22. Second book was released on November 23, and Udemy course, of course, on December 24. So one at the rate of one per year. Now views on the Udemy course are 64,912 reviews are there, of views are there on the four vlogs which I have posted on my YouTube, and there are 2420 hours of watch time, vis-a-vis about 20-30 hours of recording time. And on the my books and YouTube and Udemy course put together, there are 1.18 million views, 11,77,450 views on 78 blogs which I have posted, and there are 20,250 hours of watch time on the YouTube, indicating that professionals are really liking these inputs. Clicks. I also have a website which shows 5248 clicks on the four blogs which I have posted for the YouTube contract negotiation course, and there are overall 47,602 clicks on the 39 blogs which I have posted on my website. Now you can continue to learn more and look at the in-depth articles on business ethics and acquisition on the three links which I have provided here, related to the Udemy course and my YouTube channel and the website. Thank you very much and happy learning.